In the video filmed by RoadTrailRun's Marcel Krebs at UTMB, we hear about the product focus, design philosophy, technology, and testing of ASICS Fuji Speed 2.
And then, bring the samples to the finish line, product to the finish line. Selecting the right materials, selecting the right constructions, and of course with the athletes. All right. So that's a quick intro of the team, and I have loads of questions to ask you guys. Let's start with you, Chad. So Fuji, you were the lead product manager for Fuji Speed 2. What was the key, aim or goal of the shoe?
Yeah, so really, we have two main kind of product pillars or silos, if you will, within Trail. We have our Chibruco series, which is comprised of the Chibruco Max, the Chibruco, and then also the Chibruco Terra. And that really stands for versatile protection in terms of, really a do-it-all solution. And then within the Fuji series, the Fuji Light and Fuji Speed, it was really, how do we deliver something more dynamic, more speed-oriented for that athlete who's looking to really race and have just a really, dynamic experience on your foot. And so with the Fuji Speed 2, we wanted to take this kind of mindset or philosophy and how do we deliver something lightweight, really athlete-focused to allow them to really put up a great time at their key race.
And then you brought the product to the finish line, and you have the product in hand. Can you walk us through a little bit about the key text?
Yeah, so really every aspect we obsessed over in terms of the upper. It's a really nice, lightweight, woven underfoot. We have a full-length carbon plate. This is actually our first carbon plate, taking a lot of the insights from the Metaspeed Sky Plus. So in the version 1 of this shoe, we actually had a bottom-loaded P-Bax plate. And really the insight here was if we top-loaded it, we're actually able to stabilize the foam and allow the midsole to really deform underfoot over the rocks and roots and really deliver that really propulsive dynamic feel at toe off. And then the midsole, we have our Flight Foam Blast Plus, which is a really nice, lightweight, dynamic foam. And then on the outsole, we have our ASICS grip, which is, as Stian mentioned, really great on wet roots, wet rocks, but also on dry terrain, unlike today.
All right, thanks, Ted. And then Naoki, so you received Chad's concept briefs. What was the key inspiration that you had in designing the shoe, and also where in the product can we see those inspirations reflected?
Yeah, thank you, Toshi. The keyword in design direction is fusion. So fusion means the intersection of nature and the human beings, and this is because trail running is important to have a relationship with nature, and about midsole detail and the outer detail and upper execution. So we is inspired by the surface of the rocks. This speedy line express the running up the steep mountain. And finally, trail runners also love nature, so we are expressing that our products are eco-friendly by using the elements of the nature. Yeah.
Very awesome, thank you. And then Yuhi, you received his sketches, and then I'm sure for Fuji Speed 2 and the Fuji series overall, I'm sure
yes.
that there was a lot of interactions with our institute. For those of you who don't know, so we have Institute of Sports Science in Kobe, Japan, that specializes in biomechanics, but also the materials and innovation materials of the shoe. So I'm sure there were a lot of interactions. Can you maybe walk us through some of the key texts that you developed with ISS?
Yes. So we work at ISIS to create the most basic philosophy of our whole trail and road lineups, and specifically speaking for the trail shoes, we try to create the best outsole rubber compound, and together with the outsole patterns. So that's something that we work really closely with the ISS. All of our trail shoe has shares a same design philosophy, and All of our trail shoe outsole design is designed on a idea of the runners going, when the runners are going uphill, they mostly use their medial side of their shoe, and when going downhill, they use their lateral side of their shoe. So if you take a close look at of our products, you can see that the outsole studs are following each different ways of the flow. So yeah, that's couple of things that we work together with the ASICS.
Great. And then earlier Chad mentioned the carbon plate.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk just a little bit about the carbon plate? Where do we have any learning from the Metaspeed?
So from the Metaspeed Sky Plus, which is something that was closely worked with the ISS team, we found out that when the carbon plate is placed on top of the midsole, and more midsole foam to kind of crush, it gives you more propulsion. So that's how we got the idea for the Fuji Speed 2 as well. The carbon plate is placed on the top of the midsole, and that gives you more stability together with propulsion.
Exciting. And then a lot of questions to you, and then last question to you though is so you sampled the Fuji Speed 2,
yes.
But then I think the sampling is just the beginning, because we need to validate the tech and validate that that tech really works on the train. What's the how does the athletes testing come into play?
So we gather athlete feedbacks from all over the world, including our athletes here today in Chamonix. So we sample and deliver multiple prototypes to them, and for them to run in it. And with their help of their feedbacks, we kind of narrow down and solidify the direction for the next stage and for the final direction of the shoe. So, for example, for the Fuji Speed, something that was mentioned, like the placement of the carbon plate, and we tried to widen the gauge a little bit to give more stability. So that was some things that came from the athlete feedbacks from the previous model, the Fuji Speed 1, and that's something that we worked on for the Fuji Speed 2.
Fantastic. And then you mentioned just the athlete testing now, and then coming to you, Chad. You traveled on behalf of the three. You guys traveled all the way from the U.S. and Japan. How can you speak a little bit to the significance or importance of being in town with this great scenery, great town of Chamonix?
Yeah, I mean, I think we came for the views, and they didn't disappoint. No, in all seriousness, there's not many events like UTMB in terms of the caliber of athletes, the depth of field. We have a lot of our own, great caliber athletes, such as Stan, who came on earlier, and really being able to work in real time, where many of these athletes are going out and they're testing the product in a very technical course, and being able to understand, down to the placement of the carbon plate, the shape of it. All these different, very nuanced or finite details. And so part of our role this week is to not only confirm product we're working on right now, but also some things you'll see in a couple seasons from now in terms of future product.
Great. And then just this morning, we also worked with one of the athletes and other athletes as well to test our concept for the future.
Our review of the ASICS Fuji Speed 2 is coming soon to RoadTrailRun.com.